My name is Pierre Woreczek. I am a Chief Brand and Strategy Officer of McDonald's. If you imagine 1 second that I've written a book, so you need a lot of imagination for that. The title of the book could be that nothing is changing and everything is changing. That would be the title of my book, to explain my point of view relative to the future of the CMO. So I'm going to explain to you what I mean by nothing is changing first. Let's start with nothing is changing. I really believe that most of the skills that the CMO had in the past are very fundamental today. I would say even more fundamental today. So let's start with the first one. Having a vision, being inspiring, writing the right storytelling about that vision. This is for me the number one skill that I believe a CMO should have and will have to manage properly in the future. It is so critical to be able to grasp where you want to go, being able to explain it. Most of the time, and perhaps because people are staying in the job for quite a small amount of time, you can see an incremental approach of what the future will be. I think it should be different. It means that you should have a vision and go backwards and decide how you will grab and get that vision. This is for me perhaps one of the most essential expectations that we should have from a CMO. The second skill that should not change is the ability to protect the DNAs of the brand, to understand them, to nurture them, to make them grow. It is so important to understand the past to better build the future. For everything to stay the same, everything should move, as we are used to say in McDonald's. In fact, to better build the future, we need to understand and to protect our past. The third skill set that is not changing is this quest for learning that we balance with this ability to feel things. What do we mean by quest for learnings? I do believe that one of the critical roles of a CMO is to build around him a learning company, a company that always wants to know better what is going on in the society, to understand the trends, to understand the consumers very well. This learning company is what makes the company always on the move, because they are never arrogant. They don't believe they know. They always want to be sure that they grab the right information at the right time. And the CMO plays a critical role for that. But this will not help to succeed if the CMO has not, perhaps what I consider that as one of the most important skills, is intuition. The ability to leverage the learnings he has to invent the future. Without intuition, there is no strong CMO. And perhaps this is what makes the difference between a great CMO and an ordinary CMO. The fourth skill set is an obvious one, but we have to mention it, of course. It is the passion for innovation. We can never stand still if we're a strong CMO. We can't accept the status quo. We understand that we have to push and push and push to invent what the future will be. It could be simple things. It could be more important things. But our goal is to invent the future, which means that innovation is in our hand. Passion for innovation seems obvious, but the passion for real innovation, the innovation that will transform hassles into real and enjoyable moments, innovation that will impact the way people are living, innovation that will change the world around us. This is something that is much more rare and unique, and this is one of the key skills that we are looking for in the past, but tomorrow for a CMO. And the last one, the last skill that remained the same, is the ability to surround himself or herself with the appropriate talents, finding the right talents, being able to keep them on board, exciting them, inspiring them, making them happy to work with you, for the company, for the vision you have. This is obviously something that will never change. Let's move to the second part now. What is changing? And you will see, it is much more the how than the what. The first major change is that we have to move from brand design to experience design. In the 90s, much of our effort was to build brands that are strong emotionally. Today, by far, it's not enough. What we do becomes much more important than what we say. Focusing on building the right experience by doing real things that people will feel, experience, understand is what is making a difference today. The second big change is that we have to move from customer knowledge to always listening. You can call it the data battle. It means that we have to understand every day what is going on relative to our brand, what people say about the experience they have with our brand, what do they feel, why they're happy, why they are not happy. This is this ongoing process of learning that is different from what we have called before customer learning with big quantitative research, qualitative research. Today, we have to interact non-stop with our customers. They should be living and breathing with us. They should be part of the company. The third one concerns the ability to move from mass to my, or from mass to mass personalization. Personalization is a word that we are hearing everywhere, but it is critical today. We can't anymore consider big targets as an element of knowledge. The knowledge is the individual, it's the ability to give them the feeling that we are close to this person, that we can understand what he wants, that we can answer to what he wants, and we can still do it in a profitable way. This ability to protect what we can call the company efficiency, and at the same time satisfy what an individual is looking for, is the next challenge that a CMO should be able to deal with. The next big change concerns the ability to move from a top-down relationship to participation. In other words, it's the ability to be social at heart. We can't think that a brand can only do an advertising and be heard. Today, it's much more than this. It is the way we engage with the different targets we have, the way we engage with each individual, the way we create the right dialogue between the brand and the people that are using the brands. The right dialogue also with the different stakeholders, that the way we create the appropriate advocacy. How do we create this participation is something new for many of the CMOs today. The other big change concerns the ability to move from being just an advertiser to a network. Because yes, we can become a network. Most of the time, we were paying for being able to say something. Today, we can decide that we are a network and we're able to welcome people because we're offering a space of entertainment, a space of service, a space of dialogue. Because we're a network, we are not only reliant to advertising, we are reliant to our ability to offer interesting pieces of content that people will be happy to leverage, to dialogue with, to share. This is a new way of putting our brand at the heart of the life of our customers. The last change impacts the way we're doing our business, our marketing plan, as we are used to say. We are used to build a marketing plan with very clearly defined actions, with advertising, promotions. We should review this. We should think of our brand as a what's next brand. We should think about what we do as a flow of things that will animate the content of our network. We should think of a pipeline that we have to nourish to create the excitement, the movement, the passion relative to our brand. And of course, this will impact the way we work with our agencies, because the fact that we provide a brief, that we wait for a campaign, is going to be so old-fashioned. We need to think about a newsroom where all together we try to find the next ideas that can generate the pleasure, the enjoyment, the interest of the people that are ready to participate to our brand. To conclude, as you can see, the deep values, the deep skills that are making a CMO, a strong CMO, will never change. Good news, we'll not be fired. But at the same time around us, as you know, things are changing drastically. And of course, we need to adapt ourselves to those new ways of doing things, not of thinking, but of doing. The fact that we have values, the fact that we have a purpose, the fact that our brand should stand for, that will never change. And we have to do it even better than we did it in the past. But being able to be surrounded with the right people that will help us to adapt ourselves to the how we do things, will be so critical in the future.